Hey, good evening, guys. How y'all doing? Um, I've been doing a lot of research on the Route 91 massacre, the Mandalay Bay massacre, whatever you want to call it, that took place October 1st, 2017. This is something that I've been keeping a close eye on for the last year plus, a few days. Um, there's so much stuff out there which I'm going to call mis or disinformation, but I want to tell you what I think. And if you can agree or disagree or whatever, you make any type of comment you want. It really don't matter to me a whole lot. I believe that this was set up by. I don't like using the term deep state because I really don't have a way of exactly explaining who they are or what they are. But it all goes back to big cabals, uh, people like George Soros, the Rockefellers, the Bilderbergs, the Rothschilds, who seek world domination. Okay, and we hear this term New World Order been bandied around quite a bit, and what I think, this is just something that over a year it's kind of just festered out, and I'm going to go ahead and say it. I think this was a communist leftist movement, an operation paid and provided by people like George Soros, who has the money to fund it, hired a team of assassins put in strategic locations to create a terrorist event to be blamed on automatic weapons or semi-automatic weapons that can be converted to automatic, with the bump stock. That's everybody. Nobody knew what the bump stock was until this happened, and now everybody knows. Now there were a few people who knew it. You got to study Stephen Paddock. They say he stayed downtown at the Ogden, which overlooked the another festival that took place a week or so earlier, which was basically rap and hip hop and this, that, and the other. Well, if he would have opened fire there, or that assassin team would have struck there, they would be doing away with their core base of followers because with all the Black Lives Matters and the Antifa and all this stuff, white people were beginning to be hated throughout this country by blacks. You see more crime now toward white people, toward politicians, and it's all coming from the left. And you go down to the Route 91 Harvest Festival, you had a lot of yeehaws and yo-yos and all these cowboys and country and western crowd, which is basically the voter base for President Trump. Okay, so why not, if you're going to create a false flag incident, why not get rid of your enemies, not your allies? The black people are the allies of these anti-American communist regimes looking for a new world order to destroy the United States and make us subservient to the communists. Why not go after the enemies, the cowboys, the country and western folk, the people who voted or more likely voted for Trump? Now, let's get to Stephen Paddock. Did he do it? I really don't think so. I think he was lured by somebody to say, hey, look, you get all these guns. I've got a buyer. Get as many as you can. And I mean, this happened a long time before, you know, because he amassed these guns basically since Trump became president. And I heard somebody say, well, he was a Trump supporter. No, he wasn't. According to his family, he had no political ties. And also, there's a rumor, and you know what rumors are, that he had converted to radical Islam. Well, this guy could have done, you know, anything where he wanted to. He had money. He wasn't exactly pretty. Um, he treated his woman like a second class citizen. He was a chronic gambler, and there was also tell that he was an alcoholic, and he was taking Valiums, 10 milligram Valium. I don't know how many he took a day. I don't know how they would react with him when drinking alcohol, but I'm gonna tell you something. If you drink alcohol and take Valiums, it'll get you. So anyway, let me finish my scenario. I think that he was lured into some type of proposition where he could make a bunch of money to help him with his gambling because he had lost a lot of money gambling and wanted to at least be a winner. Because he's won at everything else. Anything he ever did, he did good, except gambling. He wanted to conquer it. The only way you can conquer gambling, less than quitting a cold turkey, is to beat it. And that's next to near impossible. Oh, what a cracking noise over there. Probably my ice machine. But with the prospect of buying a weapon for $1,200 to $1,400, throwing a little bump stock on it, I do not know how much they cost, but getting $3,000 to $5,000 a weapon is enough to say yeah, because the people that he would be dealing with would be people from south of the border, people of foreign extraction, who's got the money, willing to pay what it takes to buy a weapon off the grid, so to speak. So I feel like that the Soros Foundation and the New World Order gang said, hey, this would be great because what's going to happen is the people are going to be so upset they're going to want to take the guns away from everybody. Now, once we become a nation disarmed, we're just ripe for the taking. And this has been taking place for quite a while. I mean, you saw it in the Obama administration, the 8 years that how they tried to go after the guns. Uh, I'm really not sure if Sandy Hook really happened because there's so too many screwy things about it. The investigation is totally flawed. Um, if the shooter commits suicide and he's dead, where's the threat left? Where's their threat? Why did they not let the ambulances come in and attend to some of these children who may have been alive? It takes a medical examiner to confirm if somebody's living or dead. And there's been cases where people appear to be dead but were alive. That takes a doctor to realize that. These policemen who are heightened up because of shooting and stuff, you know, letting these babies and first graders just lay there in blood and whatever, and did not allow the EMTs or the ambulances, paramedics to come in there and try to save these children. That makes no sense at all. Too many discrepancies in the stories. And when you watch the interview that they had, the medical examiner that came down from Hartford, he was a joke. He was almost laughing. And then the major with the state police, he looking at him like, watch what you say, watch what you say. You know, why not just say the truth? The truth will stand when a lie will fall. Well, I'm going to tell you something, and you've heard it many, many times before. Don't piss down my neck and tell me it's raining because I know the difference. So, back to Las Vegas. I've heard so many conspiracy theories and helicopter shootings, uh, shooters on the ground, shooters in the air, shooters on the tank. One window blown out, and they only found 8 shells. So where's all automatic fire coming from? Oh, you can say room 135. Well, when the police got there, the windows were not broken. It was on the body cam. This was said over and over again. All of a sudden, they do a breach to the next room. You hear a secondary explosion, which is telling me that's when they blew out that window. So somebody had some forehand knowledge of what's going on. Now, I just listened to an interview where this guy named Hodge from Australia was giving moment to moment interviews to the foreign press in Australia, claiming he was in room 134, and the FBI is not going to investigate it. What in the hell is going on? If you start watching the videos and listening real close, you're going to pick up so many discrepancies that it will make your head swim. I've been keeping up with this for a little over a year now. And the way I see it, Stephen Paddock was set up. He was murdered. The shooting took place from elsewhere. Now, the shooting from room 134 to 8 rounds, if you look close, 2 of the rounds hit the fuel tanks. But if you look right straight directly over the fuel tank, there is a hangar area for private jets. Now, I have suspicion that there was somebody on one of those jets that they were after also. So the 2 shells that hit the tanks just fell short because they're shooting over the tanks, and they had to get their windage, the footage, the elevation, distance, all this stuff correct. That's why a 308 was used rather than a 223, because that's a heavier hitting bullet and it's more accurate over the long run. Well, still, you got other variants to take place to make sure you get the shot right. Windage, what's the wind like? The distance, the arc, the amount of fall over a certain period of area. So that's what I think happened in room 134. They tried to assassinate somebody way on the other side of the concert while the concert was being shot up as a diversion to go after whoever was on the plane that was parked in front of the hangars, right directly back behind the tank that was hit. As you notice, there's only 2 tanks, but only one of them was hit twice, and it looked like it was pretty much up and down. In other words, they were trying to get their range. And I'm going to tell you, as a shooter, that can sometimes be difficult unless you got a spotter, spot and scope, and like I say, your windage, your elevation, and you got to dial that something again right on. So yes, it's not unusual shooting at that distance for that bullet to drop and hit the tanks rather than being above the tanks and hitting the plane, which is right directly on the other side, within view of that window. Okay. Now, that makes me sound like I'm mixing 2 scenarios together. One about assassinating whoever's on the plane, and another George Soros funded debacle that they thought was going to affect the gun laws, which as of now they haven't, except that you will stop selling bump stocks. But from what I understand, that they're garbage. They're not accurate. I mean, yeah, you can spray a bunch of bullets, but if you don't hit nothing, what's the use? I'd prefer semi-automatic anyway. That way, at least I have a chance of dialing in what I'm aiming at. Okay, guys, listen. This is the first of a series that I'm going to start throwing out there, and I hope you enjoy it. And if you feel like commenting, please do, because I like to discuss this. I like to hear other opinions where we can bounce stuff off the wall and maybe try to make sense out of all this, because nothing with that whole case, and same as Sandy Hook, makes any sense whatsoever. I mean, it just doesn't make no sense. I mean, if the news medium and the police or law enforcement would be honest, lay the cards on the table, then it might be feasible. But right now, there's so much cover up. What are they trying to hide? My friends, I'm asking you to help me uncover the truth. No matter where it takes us or how much we have to dig, we need to find out what happened so we know where to put the blame, whether it would be on the shooter or a conspiracy or a cabal. So, guys, you have a great night, and I'll talk at you on my next video.